I think mostly the evolution will start to go more into kind of mind over matter sort of phase. We start to think of new inventions that we can add to ourselves to make ourselves better, such as neural implants, as I mentioned earlier, which would allow us to enhance our capabilities as human beings by using outside sourcing, because there's so much things that we can use, so why not use them?
When we were talking about it outside, I sort of said that we're probably not going to evolve that much, because if evolution is the survival of the fittest, and we've already sort of dominated the earth and started to ruin it, so we're probably just going to end up destroying everything else.
If we were going to evolve, it would mean like all the weak people would actually have to die, and the strong people with the strong features would just carry on.
But that's kind of illegal now.
You can't just
Like genetic engineering, you can't kill disabled people and that kind of thing.
Like kill all the strong people in their own little countries and breed and like make Superman.
I don't think that humans are going to evolve that much in their obvious physical attributes. I think there's certain societal pressures and societal preferences that will probably continue to be reinforced. Humans have gotten progressively taller over the past 1,000 years. That will probably continue. But really, what humans are going to evolve, it's what makes humans special. It's how they behave. Their behavior is going to change, and that's going to be a social evolution. It's going to be a personal evolution. Now, I tend to be a bit of an optimist, so I think that we're going to evolve in a positive way, but we're going to have to evolve very quickly in a positive way to adapt to all of the challenges. We've evolved socially in a world of endless capacity, and that's how our society operates today, with endless supplies of all the minerals and products we need, endless supplies of all the food we need, endless supplies of all the energy we need, and all of those are running out. So we're going to have to devise new ways of living, new ways to construct our society to deal with the challenges of limits to our life, limits to our resources, and how to get around those.
Well, how will they have evolved? I suspect in 200 years people won't have evolved very much. I suspect that society and environment will have evolved a fair bit. I feel as though the real challenge for us to really carry on progressing our society at the rate in which it is going to be really finding alternative energy sources to live sustainably, to be able to sort of live with the huge population which we're going to have to deal with. Hopefully there won't have been any global sort of pandemics that will really knock out lots of population, but there's going to be some huge challenges there to get energy and food, to feed the people. Different styles of living. I would be surprised if people carry on really accepting living in huge cities in the way they do. It just doesn't seem to be quite working. There's lots of problems. Things are going to have to change.
I don't think we will have evolved that much, because I don't think much evolution takes place now. There's not really much survival of the fittest. So I think we'll be quite similar. Taller still, do you think?
I think if anything, we'll go backwards. I think we're going to be more prone to illness by that time instead of evolving.
Well, that's a big debate, isn't it, about whether humans are still evolving, but the mental things are stopping the evolutionary process. I think I've been trying to say that sort of, although the natural evolutionary process was sort of slow, in terms of sort of genetic enhancements and sort of like robotic, artificial enhancements, I think they'll be very good.
I think it also depends on the environment, because I mean, like, if we start moving more into space travel, trying to colonise other places, then that may introduce some aspect of evolution due to different conditions.
50 years, short time.
250 years.
Oh, 250
years. Yeah.
Ever since I heard that there's a possibility that the human brain has more abilities than we know, I've always been a sort of believer that yes, we could tap into the extra 90% or something that we haven't unlocked with our brains. And there's always TV programs about telekinetics and telepathics, and I do actually think that is a possibility in a large scale of time. So.
I have no idea of the rate, but I think it's the evolution of the brain which is of most interest, it seems to me, And I understand that there could be physiological difficulties if the brain gets larger. Not at all. I mean, uncertain ground here, but I've read somewhere that there are already problems with women giving birth to people as the brain. I mean, and I don't think the size has been any significant increase in the last, 50, 60, 80 years or whatever. But I understand that it has been detected and it's getting worse.
I did actually see something in the paper about this. The theory being that you would end up with two basically races of humans, the tall, smarter, beautiful ones, and then the small, I think they called them Gollum race. Whether or not that will happen, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. I think brain size might increase and just continue making all these scientific discoveries.
Or if you believe Steve Jones, we've stopped evolving, haven't we? We're not going to evolve anymore. This is it.
I think we're going to end up physically probably weaker if we're relying on cures and things like that, and our metabolism, which has already got weaker than what it was. People aren't used to taking in pathogens and things like that. We have to cook our food, and we're the only mammal that cooks that has to have food at all cooked, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an advantage though, because you have to metabolise it less because the cooking already.
It's only an advantage because of the climate we live in, because of the situation.
But in 22, I don't know how evolved. I don't know. We'll have to combat obesity.
Depends on the climate. Yeah.
You wouldn't. I don't think we'll have, physically there'll be any evolution. The lifestyle it might change the way we are, the way we live.
If you've got a gene that stops you a fast metabolism, the amount of food that people in MEDCs eat, it's probably going to be more advantageous than the gene in someone who's obese. But if they're managing to survive until they're 40 or 50, just on healthcare and things, they're going to be able to pass that gene on anyway. So it might not make any difference.
Or gene therapy, you'll be able to alter the way people's genetic makeup.
Yeah, so it might not even be down to evolution.
Yeah, because if humans can by then sort out people's physical disabilities or problems, but just using gene therapy, then we don't need evolution.
So it all depends on how our situation changes. We're living underwater.
Living underwater. Grow for web feet.
Yeah, if the world floods like it's supposed to.
Get some gills going.
The only thing with evolution though is you're going to always find something that's going to kill someone. You just stop someone dying of cancer, they'll die of something else. So you're just moving on to try and make someone sustain someone's life.
Aging is the big new challenge facing medicine, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're looking at ways. I think I was reading the other day that they found a gene that actually causes degeneration in cells, and if they could, I don't know if they could find a way of targeting that, that'd be quite scary. Or then you can bring it on, or even just growing new organs. They can, you can get a pig's heart. You can leave the actual tissue, the cartilage behind. You can strip off all the tissue, and then you can grow it again with human cells from the person, from the recipient, and you can just grow a whole new heart and put it so.
But doing all this, you might save someone from dying at 50, but you might progress their life to 80 and end up in a dementia home.
But then
that's such a big drain on society.
Raises the moral question, when should you stop trying to prolong life? Because if you've got people living, the average age expectancy is 100, you've got people retire at 60, economically you've got 40 years of just trying to look after them.
How best to spend your research money and what to research.